local government elections. Well, this is a part of what can make your government, make extra money at the local level if you promote tourism. So it's nice that you're here. Our elders and leaders from various geopolitical zones and various walks of life here. You're also duly welcome. Other political functionaries, heads of federal agencies and parastatals, captains of industries, prominent investors. I've listened to some of you here. And let me also specially recognize our Baba, Baba Chibayo Oyero. You're specially recognized, sir. And other eminent personalities here. And our moderators, panelists, interviewers, participants for this International Tourism Summit. You're also all duly recognized. Market leaders, artisans, and other trade groups, leaders of various professional bodies, associations, and groups that are here, distinguished invited guests from all around the world, gentlemen of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. This presentation is titled Unlocking the Tourism Potential of Oyo State through Public-Private Development Partnership Collaborations. When you hear the title of the presentation, the key word that you can quickly identify is unlocking. Anytime I'm talking about Nigeria, I always tell people, we have the potential, but those potentials are locked in. So we have to unlock it for us to be able to realize the benefit from those potential. So you immediately imagine a door with a key that fits nicely. And you can open it and just wait for a moment and imagine that you're coming from a hard day at work in the middle of the afternoon. Even in this very hot weather. I'm sure you'll be happy, that a key, if you have a key that unlocks your door, because on the other side of the door, you are assured of refreshing water and perhaps rest. It will be frustrating if you arrive at the door and discover that you've either lost your key or you have the wrong one. So the situation is similar with investors. Yes, they have their money for investment. At the other side of the door is profit. So the question is always, what is the return on investment? Without the right key to unlock the potential they are seeking, they will not gain access to the expected benefits. So in this presentation, I will share the key that unlocks the door to tourism potential in Oyo State. Various speakers earlier in the day, especially during the opening presentations, discussed partnership opportunities in Oyo State and outlined what the state has to offer. But it is one thing to know what we have, and quite another thing to access it. So what is this key? Well, the key is partnership. And I can quickly digress. I was listening to the last panelist, and I think Dr. Honor from Cross River State said he checked the budget of Oyo State and found out that we've appropriated only 1.3 billion for tourism. It is because for us, and I also had somebody mention that government can own 95%. He mentioned Ethiopian airline, but control 5%. Well, maybe in other places it's possible for it to work, but my experience, and remember, this is actually my first public sector job. If you remember, when I was campaigning in 2018, some people said, Seyi ò ṣe kan rí, kò ṣe councillor rí, kò ṣe House of Assembly rí, kò ṣe House of Reps rí, kò ṣe Senator rí, ó fẹ́ ṣe governor, up, step and jump. Well, the Oyo State people gave me the opportunity, even with all of those comments. And one of the things we did when we came in was to test some of this partnership model. We looked at our GRAs and we found out that the roads are not fixed, they are basically slums. And we said, okay, so what can we do? Let's do land swap. And I can be above board. And the first one we did was Lere Adigun GRA. I said, how much do we need to put the infrastructure in place? They gave me the amount. We'll look for people who brought that money, and we gave them land equivalent to that. And at that time, we were still feeling the pulse of what can we really get away with in Oyo State. I gave them each plot for 15 million naira. And we gave them the plots equivalent to how much money they were putting into that infrastructure. 1.5 years later, 18 months, that 15 million naira plot has gone up to over 100 million naira. So that is what model, the type of model that we are saying that if people can bring their money, they must also have control over those enterprises that they put in their money into in Oyo State. So there are 3 types of partnership you can find in Oyo State. The first one is, and that's why Oyo State government, under my watch, we don't do any business. And for some of these land swap deals, if you find out that there's a plot in Seyi Makinde's name or Seyi Makinde's proxy's name, please say it on the internet. I will relinquish it. But you won't find any. So we have the public-private partnership, PPP. We have the Public Development Partnership, PDP, not the People's Democratic Party. And you have the Hybrid Partnership, And I'm not talking about PDA, PC either. So how did this work? I'll walk you through the process in maybe 1 second. But before I do that, let us take another look at the opportunities. This time, I will discuss those opportunities Oyo State is prepared to work on with relevant stakeholders. We have to show some seriousness, about those investments. We have commissioned investment advisors to create a document that shows the investment opportunities and projections. So we have produced an investor's handbook that takes a high-level look at this investment, but we're also prepared to take a deep dive into this investment. So what are these investment opportunities we're projecting? In the first instance, we have 6 of them. We have the Ibadan Cultural Center, which is a stone throw from the development that my brother Adedibu mentioned just now. We have the Bowers Tower, the LA Waterfront, Idere Hill, Iyamako Hill, Iyake Suspended Lake. Those are category A, and there are places where we want to put our money and our mouth into. So if you watch the tourism documentary shown earlier, you will have seen all of these sites and destinations featured. We have done our homework and we have the figures. So a key part of my presentation is sharing those figures with you. Then after I leave here, we will have a high-level investors meeting to discuss these figures and how you can get a slice of the Oyo State tourism investment cake. As you may already know, we do have expectations for these sites and destinations. For example, our minimum expectation is that the Ibadan Cultural Center will be restored to its former glory. And then we project that the entry point for this investment will be about 1 billion naira. So in fact, for each of these sites and destinations, which I will be referring to as the Focus 6, entry points are from about 250 million with expected profit margins of between 50 and 60% yearly, based on 5-year projections. As mentioned, we got a reputable tourism advisory firm to run the numbers. So we have location and marketing appraiser for the Focus 6, as well as proposed project concept and financial appraiser. One of the things that looking at the reports on this site has revealed, and I believe it was also a recurring theme during the sessions today, is the role that government needs to play in fostering the partnership that leads to sustainable development. And I know that if I speak to these investors later today, a big question they will be asking me is, what are we offering as Oyo State government? So I might as well just address that elephant in the room right away. Under our PPDP arrangement, the primary source of funding for the project is the private investor or development organization. So Oyo State is not saying, oh, come, we have a stack of cash somewhere that we will plow directly into the Focus 6. The key word for me here is plowed directly, because there's also indirect project financing, which is captured and baked into infrastructure development. We're doing just less than 500 meters from here. That's the Agbowo shopping complex. It was handed over by a previous administration, built during Uncle Bola Ige's time. And when I came in, it was already in a very bad shape. And I asked questions, how much are we realizing from this? And it wasn't satisfactory. And we put it out and said, look, investors should come in and invest. So we got the first investor in there. He was just stripping the assets and selling. So I terminated that arrangement. We brought this, they came to me and said, this other individual was the one funding the first guy. So I said, okay, give it to that individual since he's the guy with the money. Again, it didn't work out. But we were determined to take that facility back to its former glory and make it sustainable. So we went and said, look, we will give a guarantee to the bank, and then the bank can give money to the investor. So they are back to site now, and I'm sure in the next 1 or 2 weeks, you will see what we're about to start in there. Yeah, we failed twice before getting to this other point. So we're not afraid to fail. And for our investors here, because we've failed, now we've learned quite a bit, and we can better give you the support that will guarantee success. For example, my brother seated here, Kunle Afolayan, is one of our investors in a film village at Komu, Igbojaye axis. One of the things he asked for was the road linkage, which we promised to do. We're still working on it because first, under infrastructural development, under Omitutu 1.0, we said link all the zones of Oyo State. And the first project we awarded was to link Ibadan to Okeogun through Moniya Iseyin. And then we linked Oyo zone to Okeogun zone through Oyo Iseyin. Those two, they've been commissioned. The next one is to link Ogbomoso zone to Okeogun zone through Ogbomoso Iseyin. And that project will be commissioned in the next 5 weeks, 30th of May. So we've started from Iwajowa, Iwerele. It's going all the way to Alaga, and that will make the film village closer to people. But he didn't stop there. He also complained about electricity. Yeah, those are some of the legitimate major concerns for investors. And I sent a transformer. I thought the problem was solved, but just now I was talking to the Honorable Minister of Tourism, and she said, yes, we've placed the transformer in there, but the high voltage to connect that site is not there. So we will do it. Because we have to create the enabling environment and lift the burden on our investors so that they can focus on their core, the core areas, that they want to invest in. Well, you may have heard about the rapid development of infrastructure Oyo State is carrying out, including the roads that I already mentioned, that will make tourism sites easier to access and contribute to a great user experience. We know tourism receives a greater boost when the government makes it easier for people to get to these destinations. So part of what we're willing to offer well, this has nothing to do with my presentation. They only said I should let everybody know that I'll take a tour of the exhibition booth after my presentation. Well, please, I will take a tour of the exhibition booth after my presentation. So, to get to these destinations, what we're willing to offer investors is expanding the activities of the state-run transport service with the Omitutum buses to these areas within and outside Ibadan. Well, I do know that some people may want to go to some of these sites and return to Ibadan the same day. For the Iyake Lake, you can go there and return the same day now through the 65-kilometer Moni-Ajayi Isheyin Road. You can go there, spend some time, and return to Ibadan. And for those trying to get in and out of the Fashola Agribusiness Industrial Hub, we also have the linkage to Oyo and also to Iseyin. Even if you like, fly to Ilorin Airport. Now from 5 weeks from now, you come through Ogbomoso and still get to the same place within 1 hour without getting on any federal road. All of those are state roads. There are no potholes. But we know that sometimes going one day and returning does not give the type of immersive experience that tourists are seeking. That is why one of the main investments we're projecting around these sites is suitable accommodation facilities within close proximity to the tourist site. So to support this, and please hold me accountable on this, we are willing to offer watertight leaseholds to investors. Depending on the investment volume, we can provide decade-long leases, and this is not just talk. Investors at the Fashola Agribusiness Industrial Hub, they know. I had Tony Jibuno, who spoke earlier. We came from the same background. I also, all my life, before this assignment, I was in the oil and gas industry. And with what I've seen, he said he should have started his agribusiness venture earlier. I also wish that I should have done politics from age 30. So Tony understands what we've done at the Fashola Hub. We've given them the opportunity, and we've also provided the enabling environment for them, for the businesses in that hub to thrive. And I'm glad you heard him talk about why he chose Oyo State for investment. So we are a forward-looking government, and we are already working towards the Oyo State of the future, where we remain pace-setters. So when it comes to providing land for development is prioritized. We have a vision of how we want the state to look, And we're not deceiving ourselves or anyone into believing we will just jump from point A to point B. We're willing to put in the work and work with investors to do so. I also know that investors do face issues with land grabbers and land scammers. One of the panelists that came from the United States, I think she said she got scammed of about $6,000. Well, I hope it's not land related. But I got scammed of $250,000 in South Africa. I invested in a coal mine. This was maybe 15, 16 years ago. Well before I became the governor, so that people will not think maybe I got scammed with Oyo State money. So it does happen. And I see people, I listen to Nigerians badmouth our country, tell people, oh, this is a country of scammers. Yes, they say it. If I'm not a Nigerian, most times when I travel outside and it's time to come back and you just take up the news and read about Nigeria, I will have turned back and go somewhere else. But once, my 26-year-old daughter, I brought her here, and then we decided we were going to Kenya together. And somehow I couldn't make that trip, but she went. And then she came back, and I asked her, so what was the experience like? And she said to me that Nairobi is just an upgraded version of Ibadan, and that Nigeria is Africa's best kept secret. Yes, our leaders may have their own shortcomings, but I can tell you that leaders don't emerge from a vacuum. I'm a creation of this environment. So if we have to change the narrative, it must start from the inside. It must start from us. So, Ms. Ward, I would like to hear your story and see if it's possible for me to assist and recover the money for you. Okay, long time ago. Okay, so maybe that's your own contribution for what some people's ancestors did to our own ancestors and all of that. So, so of course, aside from partnership with investors to develop these facilities that support tourism, there are also partnerships with content creators, promoters, and others in the communications and marketing sector. So I'm sure in the weeks and months after this event, the state's communication and marketing consultants will be reaching out to more of this segment to promote the state's tourism sector. For many who have never been to Oyo State, and even for some who live here, some of the tourism destinations mentioned today might seem very new. They may not have even heard of them. So we agree that we need to work with the local communities and others to project this site. I've heard the Honorable Commissioner quoting that we have over 100 of these sites. We're already working on a compilation of this, and we'll commission brochures and other materials that will further promote this site. So that is another partnership to look forward to. And since I will be going to check the booths after, I should be done in the next maybe perhaps 3 to 4 minutes, not hours, 3 to 4 minutes. When I leave here, I'll check the booth, and then I can have engagement with investors. Please come to me, let's talk, and where I can provide enablers to fast-track things, I will do that immediately, because my time on this seat is also counting down. I have 3 more years to go. Maybe, okay, 3 more years and 6 weeks. So we can have that discussion while we're having maybe late lunch or early dinner, but it will be a non-threatening environment. I will ask my DSS, ADC, they should all just leave me with the people. So this only goes to buttress further the point that opportunities exist and in the tourism sector, and if properly harnessed, can lead to prosperity. I believe this is another way of expanding our economy. Under Omituntun 1.0, we focus on 4 major pillars, and the pillar on expansion of our economy, we focused on agribusiness and development of our infrastructure. But now, under Omituntun 2.0, well, I never knew they were even going to give me the opportunity to come for a second tenure, because just days before the election, I was looking at a video on social media where some people said, well, go and vote the way we normally vote. And from 2007, they were voting against me. So I thought I'm on the same path, but thankfully, your state people gave me the opportunity. And under Omituntun 2.0, we've expanded those areas where we will look after our economy and take our people out of poverty to prosperity. So we've added solid minerals development and tourism, and that is why we're here for this tourism summit. So in conclusion, I have also 2 best kept secrets as well. They are not part of these 6 areas listed, but I've been to Ikere Gorge Dam, and it is also a solid tourism destination. I understand it's the deepest gorge dam on this continent. I'm still trying to verify it, because when it's Seyi Makinde, they challenge me on everything. If I say Oyo State is the biggest cassava producer, Dakwa Abiodun will say, no, it's Ogun State. I should show it to him. If it's the deepest, well, maybe somebody will go to the bottom and try it for us. So I have that, which if you want to visit, the road is bad right now, but if I see an investor, I will fix the road and he will join these other 6. And I also have the Erua agribusiness hub. If you listen to me, the interconnectivity that we've spoken about, we've linked. Oyo State has 5 major zones. We have the Ibadan zone, we have the Oyo, we have the Ogbomoso, Oke-Ogun, and Ibarapa. We've linked Ibadan to Oke-Ogun. We've linked Oyo to Oke-Ogun. We've linked Ogbomoso to Oke-Ogun. We've also linked Ibarapa to Oke-Ogun through, I know Kabiyesi Onidere is here, through the road from Igbora, through Idere, Igangan to Igana. But if I see solid investor also for the Erua farm settlement, farm estate, I will also do the solid road from that farm settlement to Seyi. The road exists right now. It's supposed to be a corridor coming from Badagry to Sokoto, but it started from Abeokuta and ended at Seyi. Not too great a road, but I've done my work on it. If I see the investor, you will be immediately linked to the center of the geographic center of Oyo State. So in conclusion, let me thank all again who made it out today to be part of the first International Tourism Summit, Oyo State 2024. I will especially thank my brother, my friend, they said Mr. Tourism himself, Governor Donald Duke. I'm sure now that they've realized what we were trying to do in Calabar. Now they're trying to link Lagos to Calabar. So we have the Lagos to Calabar Road. Though it's still generating a lot of problems, but while that problem is still being generated, Ibadan to Lagos to Ibadan has been fixed, so you can keep coming to Ibadan from Lagos until Lagos to Calabar is ready. So I want to especially thank you for staying with us all through this period, and also for the Honorable Minister. I thank you most sincerely for putting aside any political coloration, to come and be with us to project the tourism potential of Oyo State. And for our mama, former Minister of Industry, Mama Onikepo Akande, I also thank you. For our panelists from far and near, I'm sorry for the difficulty in getting in, and also for the high visa fee, but I can personally refund the visa fee. And we keep the discussion going, really. If we want external people to come in here, we need to be sensitive to some of these charges. And for investors, those of you that have already invested in Oyo State, I thank you for your confidence in this state, and we promise you that we will continue to do everything possible, to ensure that your investment is secure and is also expanded. And to all of you who have listened to me blab this past maybe 40 minutes, 30 minutes, thank you for listening to me. And thank you, and God bless you.
I'm so sorry.